Hey everyone. So as you may or may not know, I leave tomorrow, which is November. Sorry, not prepped. November 24th. I'll be back March 27th. So everything's gonna be put on hold when it comes to studio and releasing videos and stuff. It's been crazy. It's been fun actually. This is my calling, I believe. This is exactly what I want to do. And I just really wanted to do a video that said thank you for your support. But this is not really for me or my studio. This is actually for all the artists out there, and they're just struggling and trying to do what their passion is, and they don't really have the support or anyone to back them up, because it's always common to hear where's the trade-off. You're doing all this, where's the money? You know what I mean? And people tend to not take you seriously, and they think you're like a crock of shit or whatever. But honestly, artists struggle to do what they want to do, whether it's mediocre or amazing. There's really no one can really tell you that your art sucks, you know, because it's a form of self-expression. And I think the only person that can say it better is Kevin Smith. I was watching a Q&A of Kevin Smith last night called Burn in Hell, and I honestly think he said it the best, and I just want to share that with everyone. And honestly, just give it a shot. If you feel like you want to do something that everyone else thinks, hey, it's not worth it, just give it a shot. You don't know. Always have a backup plan to fall on, you know, if it doesn't work out. Make sure you're in your means, make sure you have some way to revenue some type of money, some type of income rather. But in the end, you gotta do what you want to do, because life is short, and then when you get to that point, you're gonna regret or say what if, you know what I mean? Anyway, check out this Kevin Smith clip. This video might be longer than I may want it to be, but it's definitely well worth it.
Hey!
Alright, check it out.
Podcasting to nightly, all the movies and everything. Where do you find time to do all of that and still do the normal things people do, like eat, sleep, shit, fuck your wife?
Yeah. I don't do the other two as much as the third. The third, I'm ever in a constant state of trying to do. Honestly, it's about managing time. For me, weed creates time. Basically, it's true. I don't know how else to say it. And again, I'm not like saying everybody go out and get stoned. Somebody's got to operate the heavy machinery. But for me, it creates time. Like basically, we always feel so fucking harried, and we always feel like there's never enough time. And that's just kind of created psychosis, like a condition of us laying pressure on ourselves. We're one of the only species on the planet that cognizes our own death, right? We realize one day that we're gonna fucking die. Animals don't really know that. They get scared of imminent death, but they don't go like, what's gonna happen when I cease to be? I've just kind of became worried that there's not enough time, so to speak. I mean, my father's death impacted me in a big, bad fucking way. And we always know our parents are eventually going to die and shit, but how he went out it really affected me and kind of shaped, I guess, everything I've been doing since to some degree. We went out one night, me and my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister and her husband, and my wife was with me. We all went out to eat. They had come to see me do one of these, a Q&A. And so my mom called me. She's like, oh my God, your sister's going to be in town anyway. And so I was thinking about coming up with your dad, and your brother will come with us because we'll have all our kids in one place in the same time. We haven't had that in about 7 years. My sister lives at that point, I think she was living in Hong Kong or something like that. My brother was in Florida. My parents were transitioning from Red Bank to Florida. So I was like, oh, please don't come. Like, it's going to pain in the ass. Like, I'm just there to do the show and get out and stuff. And she's like, no, we're all going to be there in the same city, so please let this happen. I was like, all right, fair enough, totally. I'll see you then. Now I'm doing the Q&A and whatnot, having a good time, and he seemed to be enjoying it. And afterwards, we all went out to eat. We went to Morton's Steakhouse and got the back room. And it was wonderful. Just you could tell my parents loved it, particularly my old man, because there they were sitting with all their kids and their kids' loved ones, the people that they went on and built lives with and shit. And that does it for a parent, man. When you're like, oh my God, we've kept them alive, you know, and healthy and happy, and they didn't break, and they went on to do their own kind of shit. And look at how everything's worked out for them. That really fucking does it for them, man. And you could tell they were just beaming with fucking pride. It's just it was a wonderful night. We were all sitting around trying to make each other laugh and shit. Just a great fucking time, you know, just a really nice fucking time. And then I put Dad and Mom into a cab downstairs outside Morton's, kissed them on the head. I'll see you guys tomorrow. They went off to their hotel. I went off to my hotel with Jen, went to sleep. And then I got a phone call at like 5:30 in the morning. And it was my brother. And he's like, you got to get down to the hospital on Walnut right now. I was like, why? He's like, Dad's in the hospital. And I was like, ugh, again? Because my father had bad health. He was diabetic, heart attack, stroke. So him going to the hospital was kind of a regular thing. You know, never really hardcore emergencies, but he'd been in and out of the hospital. It was no real great shock or surprise. I was like, all right, well, when Jen gets up, we'll head over. And my brother goes, get down here now. And I hung up, and I was like, oh, shit. And I didn't even wake up Jen, throw my clothes, went down to the hospital, and got through the emergency room doors, and I saw something I'd never seen before, so horrifying. It was my mother crying, but not crying, because I've seen her cry. Like, she watched the Thornbird, she used to cry and shit. Shogun, oh, it's so beautiful, you know, or fucking like if I wrote a nice poem, she'd cry. This was different. This was the crying that one does, like when someone's fucking scared big time, like when their life is hanging in the balance or something like that. She couldn't put words together. She was hyperventilating. She was like, oh God, Jesus, please, God. Oh God, don't take him, please. She's just fucking rambling desperately, crying, but fucking very frightening in how she was speaking. And I'd never seen that before. I looked behind her because my brother is kind of holding her, and she's facing me, so she doesn't see my brother's face. And my brother's face just tells the story. He's just like, and I didn't realize. I was like, oh my God, he's gone? And I go into the emergency room, and I was like, Donald Smith? And they're like, I'm sorry, he passed. And they took me into the room. There's my father laying on a gurney, just dead. He still has a tube sticking out of him, and they're trying to intubate him or something like that. But just motionless, quiet, no breathing whatsoever. And it was weird. It was, to say the least, you always know eventually your parents are going to go, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that fucking moment. When I was a kid, I used to lay on the floor while my father watched Bowling for Dollars. And he would lay kind of, like if the TV's here, he'd lay on his back, kind of like Snoopy on his side, like in front of the TV, stomach up on his back with his head at the TV like that. And I would lay on the floor on his stomach watching Bowling for Dollars and shit. And so after I saw him on the stretcher, I put my head on his chest because I realized that was it. That was the last time I was ever going to do that. And it wouldn't creep him out because he was dead. So I did it, and then I walked out, and I went outside and had a cigarette. I was still a cigarette smoker in those days. And I was just thinking about being half an orphan or halfway to being an orphan or something like that. My brother comes out, and I was like, oh, can't believe it, right? He goes, yeah, it's pretty tough. And I said, how was it? Because my brother was there. He was staying with my parents. And Donald, without missing a beat, my brother goes, Dad died screaming. And I was like, what? And he goes, Dad died screaming. I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, he woke up, and he was kicking the sheets off and screaming about being on fire. And he was so hot, and get him water and fucking screaming. The screaming got louder and louder, and it reached a fever pitch, and he died. And I don't know how else to say it, but Dad died screaming. And that fucking hit me like a Mack truck, because I'd known my father my whole life at that point. And, some people here worship their parents. My father was not a guy that, made fucking advancements in technology or did anything really all that important in life whatsoever. I remember asking him once, Dad, what were your dreams? And he was just like, well, I just wanted to get married and have kids. So I guess it kind of happened. He was a good dude, and he worked at the post office his whole fucking life, you know, just to pay for the family that he had. He didn't necessarily like working for the post office or believe in the mail or something, but it was what he needed to do to pay for his fucking wife and his kids and stuff like that. This is a huge compliment that I always try to pay him. Some people take it the wrong way, but it's very important. He never fucked a child. That's important, you know. In this world, fucking, a lot of people you hear about, you know, fucking, or just like, oh my God, I got molested by an adult and shit. My father had no interest in that kind of thing. Hung out with kids all the time, never once saw him like eyeballing children. And that made me proud. Never tried to fuck me either, you know. That was a big plus in my book. Just a good fucking dude, an upstanding kind of citizen, went to church, always did what he was told and shit. You know, his wife bossed him around, but he was fucking happy to do whatever she said. Good fucking dude, good dude, deserved way better than to die screaming. But that good dude, he did die screaming. And I remember thinking, oh my God, in this world where even a good man like my old man is gonna die screaming, there's no point in not trying to achieve every fucking dream that I have. This is my eventual end. One day, that's it. And I really felt like, man, that's like, this is my future. We're all probably going to go out screaming. So the best thing to do prior to that is to try to pack that life with as much wonderfulness, fun, productivity. Surround yourself with people that are going to fucking help you do that. You know, because in this world, there's not a lot of support. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of fucking cynicism. Even as I sit here and tell that story about my fucking father dying, I guarantee you there's a cynical head in this house, maybe more, sitting there going, who cares? Move on. Tell a dick joke. The world is full of fucking why, man. You tell people something, they'll tell you why. Throw a rock and you'll hit somebody with why. Like, hey, man, I want to make a movie. Why? Why do you think you could do that? Why? Why? Nobody else is doing it. Why are you doing it? There's so much fucking why. You go out and you find why not. You surround yourself with why not. People are just like, why not? Where you're like, hey man, I'm going to try something. Like, all right, why not? Let's give it a shot. People who try to help you do your dreams, make your dreams come true and shit, and you do the same for fucking them. We're all in this together, and it costs nothing to encourage a fucking artist. That's why I get up here for almost 20 years now after the movie, man. There ain't a lot of filmmakers get up after the movie and spend more time than the movie itself talking. But I've been trying to impart one simple lesson for nearly 20 fucking years. Anybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't born into a business or the film business or born with a mic in my hands. I have no fucking discernible talent whatsoever, man. I have no connections to the business. We're from fucking New Jersey and stuff. I got lucky. Somebody picked up the movie and boom, I was off and running. And part of that manifest, when you're brought into the indie film community, part of your job, part of your honor, part of your privilege is to make sure that keeps going, to encourage other people, you know, to tell people it's worth the shot. Just like Wayne Gretzky said, like, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. It's always worth the fucking shot. Now, if you're talking about, like, if what your shot is you're like, I've always wanted to kill 12 children, Kevin, don't take that shot at all. I'm not talking about that, you know, I'm talking about artsy shit, you know, writing a blog, fucking making some music, making a movie, making a fucking cupcake store, fucking a knitting store, fucking putting together a YouTube clip, just anything that's just not fucking, oh, we must do this because it's part of my job or this will get money. Some shit you just do just to see if it could be done. Live a why not life, man, because we're all gonna die fucking screaming. So make sure when you die screaming, you're totally fulfilled. You're like, I took all the shots. I did it. I went after everything I wanted to, or at least tried. Take the shot. The shot is always fucking worth taking. Whether it's a dopey thing like fucking podcasting or writing a book or fucking writing a blog, think about the encouragement you get. When you encourage an artist, think about the potential that comes out of it. You tell a dude, good job, man. That person maybe one day writes that blog that you meme out to the entire world because it says exactly what you always wanted to say but couldn't yourself. Or they write that fucking song that you play over and over after a loved one fucking dies because it means the world to you. They make that fucking movie that is the one you cling to when everything is going wrong in life. Oh, you pop that in and fucking things aren't bad for 2 hours. All that comes from encouraging an artist. Nothing good comes from discouraging an artist. So for fucking 20 years, I keep coming up here and going, go out and do it. Why the fuck aren't you doing this? It's so fun. You should fucking do it. Take your fucking shot. I took my shot and it's nothing but pussy and donuts, you know? Just. So I'm here to tell you, man, give it a shot. Go out and try.
So as you can see, surround yourself with people that say why not, and encourage artists When I get encouraged, just people saying good job, hey, I liked your video, or even good constructive feedback, you know, it's all helpful. This is a dream, and it may become a reality, whether I'm just doing YouTube videos or one day I'll make that movie that I always wanted to make, you know. It's rough, but we're artists, and sorry about that. But yeah, like I was saying, we're artists. Whether you are doing like the littlest thing to like the biggest thing, you know, you never know. Just make sure you have a job and you're creating some sort of income for yourself, just to stay healthy and financially stable and stuff like that. But yeah, man, take that shot. Take that shot. You never know. YouTube video, podcasts, blogs, writing short stories. I used to do those. Spoken word poetry. Big fan of those. Now I'm going into film and photography. Will I make it? I don't know. But at least I took the shot. You know. I think I'd be more upset that I didn't take the shot rather than not making it. You know what I mean? At least I said I tried. And whether I'm working at freaking Walmart or Target or, I don't know, some low down job that I hate, I still tried to pursue my dream. As pathetic that may sound, I think that's how an artist feels, you know? I don't quite know if I'm an artist yet, but I know I'm developing and molding my path, my career. Nothing comes from discouragement. Encourage, why not? And just make sure you're safe. Alright, thanks for watching.